The views and opinions expressed on the cap are those of the hosts. They do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of OldMilk Media. Any opinions stated aren't intended to offend anyone. On this episode of the Cap Podcast, we react to The Carter Six by Lil Wayne. Welcome back. This is episode 609 of your critical but accurate tour through hip hop, the Cat Podcast. We are your tour guides. I'm Nate Sperlin. That is Taylor McLeod. Thank you for watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever else you might be tuning in. Feel free to join the conversation by leaving a comment, liking this video, and subscribing to the channel, and also sharing with your friends, voting in the poll. All that helps a lot. That being said, Taylor, how are you doing?
Man, I'm good. We were just talking about it. I've been working a bunch. I've been eating good, taking care of myself a little bit more as I approach 27 here. So we're doing good, man.
Yeah. Glad to hear it. Glad to, especially 2 weeks before your birthday.
I know.
Excited for that. Yeah, I'm doing good also, man. I mean, like the Yankees won, the Mets won, can't complain.
I
The
mean,
Knicks
I can
lost.
certainly complain about the Yankees losing or the
Uh,
Yankees winning.
oh yeah, but I
Yeah.
don't think you have that energy to, because
No, I've spent a lot of time, man. I've spent a lot of time with a lot of Red Sox teams, and this one, you know, my
yeah,
energy, you're right. It is an energy issue.
yeah. That being said, on this episode of the Cat Podcast, we are reacting to The Carter Six by Lil Wayne, which is 19 tracks, an hour and 7 minutes long, featuring Big X the Plug, Jay Jones, Jelly Roll, Big Sean, Bono, Two Chainz, Cameron Carter, which is Lil Wayne's son, Andrea Bocelli, Wyclef Jean, Manny Fresh, Lil Novi, another one of Lil Wayne's kids, MGK, and Kodak Black. Once again, feel free to join the conversation in the comments below. That being said, Taylor, what were your first initial thoughts about the Carter Six?
I, it's tough, man, because I don't like, there's no part of me, and I say this a lot when you and I talk about music. I never want to be like just straight up mean about the music, right? Like, because it's like, it's not my music. I didn't make it. I didn't put the time in, all that. My first thought when I listened to it through, it's two-sided. It's one, I need whatever Lil Wayne's got that makes him try every single type of music on this album, right? Like to have that confidence, I need that. Second, listening to it through, it is unfortunate to use such a legendary album series to try all of those things in its latest installment. And I know that the Carter now isn't what the Carter was, but for me and you, how old we are, like the right when you and I are becoming like old enough to kind of find things like find things
Hmm.
ourselves, like enjoy things ourselves. Like the Carter 3 is huge. Lil Wayne's on top of the world. And then the Carter 4 comes out. And I know people didn't love that album, but as someone who was just getting to the point where like I'm just like now like creating my own taste, like the Carter 4 was big,
Yeah.
for me. And so obviously you had Carter 5, but to have an album like this be part of that series, I think it doesn't necessarily water down the first three, but it's definitely like, all right, this series doesn't mean as much to me as it once did.
Yeah. Um, I had my expectations were that I hoped that Lil Wayne can deliver something that reminded us how great of an artist he once was. Something that had a quality that would be louder than his headlines that he made in 2024. This one is probably more of a projection also, but I also had the expectation to see some growth from Lil Wayne in terms of what he chooses to rap about. I kind of knew like that wasn't gonna happen, but like one can dream. As I always challenge every artist that we talk about to kind of like grow in their life so that they have something to talk about in their music. And the Young Money Collective just doesn't do that at all. And I think that's one of the main reasons why we're seeing such a downfall from that collective. When you look at Lil Wayne, when you're looking at how Nicki Minaj stands in 2025, even looking at how Drake kind of stands in 2025, like away from the Kendrick stuff, there's always been criticism of Drake about like what he raps about, and the subject matter he chooses to include in his music, and how it hasn't grown. Um, the best thing I can say about this album is I appreciate how the album cover is falls in line with the formula for the Carter series album covers, where you have a picture of a younger version of Lil Wayne and you have all his current face tattoos and piercings. And I didn't notice until after, well, I didn't notice until like looking at the cover for like 2 or 3 minutes. But like, if you look, he also has like grills in his teeth, which I assume is also what he has in real life. That being said, the Carter Six is a lesson to everyone that you should quit while you're ahead to protect your legacy. Over the past few years of hip hop, the elders of our genre that we've come to love, have refused to grow musically and personally. Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne are prime suspects of that. I think that they both fall into the same category of like making music that would probably go off in the early 2010s, but it's like the 2020s now, so like nobody really likes that music anymore. And then on top of that, you have the stuff that comes out outside of the music, where they have like tone deaf comments that they make, and that also alienates their loyal fans. I'm interested to think about a scenario where Lil Wayne doesn't spend time crying about not getting Super Bowl performance that didn't make sense for him to have in the first place, and putting that energy into an album and seeing how much better this album would be. Um, Another thing I also want to bring up when we're talking about elders of hip hop letting us down, uh, Timbaland thinking that signing an AI artist is going to lead to some type of comeback. Like I've never in this year of 2025, I haven't heard anyone say, "Wow, Timbaland, I miss that guy. I want to listen to his beats again." Haven't heard it. And also Kanye.
Yeah, you don't even got to say anything about that. That can be where
Yeah.
it stays.
That being said, talking about the actual album. The construction and timing of some of these tracks sound very dated. The hit attempts sound like they should have been released in 2010, 15 years ago. The track listing is terrible. The tracks don't build off one another. You go from one song that sounds kind of good to like another song that's just like straight opera music, and then another song that sounds like a fucking elephant. Makes no sense at all. This isn't a cohesive sound. It sounds like a bunch of tracks that Lil Wayne was like, yeah, I want to try that. I want to try that too. It sounds like Lil Wayne is like he's trying to like complete side quests or look for side quests, and he took all the side quests, all the musical side quests that he could potentially come up with, and put them together with an album. And it did not come out good. I don't appreciate that Lil Wayne seems to think that on some of these songs him just saying Carter 6 improves the quality of the song. It doesn't. It actually kind of like it's a slap in the face, honestly, especially for like fans who really love Lil Wayne. To include this into the Carter series, honestly, is a slap in the face. And I think that this goes to show something that I've kind of been hinting at over the years that we've been doing this, Taylor. Um, the days of people being impressed by like just like rapping are over. Like fans want to see artists put more thought into the construction of the album, the track listing, and they want to see their artists grow as a person and as an artist also. And these are things that Lil Wayne did not put forth on this album. So yeah, like I think that a lot of these songs sound like they should have been released in 2010, 2011, 2009. And it's 2025, and we have to hold it to a 2025 standard. And that being said, most of this album is horrible.
Yeah, for a long time I've like looked at the whole thing with Wayne where he says he doesn't remember any of his lyrics. He says he doesn't know what's going on in music as like a almost like a shtick a little bit, like that's his thing, like he doesn't know what's going on. But I was always like, I mean, if you're still making music and you're still showing up on albums and you're still, he's still on social media, it's like you can't be as turned off as or tuned out, I guess, as he says he is. But then you hear something like this and it's like, oh yeah, you're actually like you live in your own world, which is fine, right? Like Lil Wayne is done enough where he has the right to make an album like this, right? Like really everyone does,
Mhm.
but it doesn't change the way that people are going to look at it. It doesn't change the way that people are going to let it change the legacy of someone who people looked at as like one of the pillars. And this doesn't even take away from it. Like we wouldn't have a lot of artists that you and I do love without Lil Wayne, right?
Mhm.
Like the amount of people who say that he was like their guy coming up, and that's why they wanted to rap. And I think you make a good point where it's like just being able to rap well doesn't necessarily get you as far as it used to. And I think it's because so many more people are in the space now, and it's so much easier to break into music, and that's across all genres. Because I think there's moments on here where he finds the pocket and you're like, all right, yeah, like this is Lil Wayne, but then it's just like when it's that for every song and you listen to it and it's essentially the same lyrics like just mixed up and put into the next song. And some of it's like there's a lot of like I think there's a lot actually a lot of like good raps in here, right? Good
Mhm.
verses, good, 8 bar sections. But then it's like some of the punchlines are so bad, some of the and it's not even like bad funny. It's just like, all right, like you know what I mean? It's like it, you just don't he doesn't have it like that, and at least he can't stay focused like that anymore. And who knows, right? It's a 19 track album. I think if you took a couple of these songs out of here, you and I would both feel probably differently about how things were, but there's so much of the stuff that's like, what are we doing,
Yeah.
that it's hard to overlook that. So if you had like one or two moments where it's like, yo, what is he doing, right?
Mhm.
You can laugh at it a little bit, but there's so much of it. And I think that like a lot of the production is just like it's wild. And like you said, there's no cohesion at all. Like you're sampling like some like island vibes here, some like sitcom like theme song here. You got I mean, like you said, elephant or peanuts to an elephant. You got like elephant noises over there. You got Andrea Bocelli like singing like Ave Maria in the back, while
Yeah.
Wayne and Wyclef Jean are actually
Well,
doing
first of
good
all,
stuff.
not in the back, in the front, because that's louder than the verses.
Yeah,
And
right.
I, like it's
But like
like,
Wyclef and Wayne are doing their thing,
yeah.
but it's like if that was the moment, right? If that was the moment that we are like, yo, what is going on here, right? I think we'd feel way differently. But there is the elephant song, right? And there is the like
Opera
the song with
song.
2 Chainz, man, is like they're just rapping about coke the entire time, and you got like
Yeah.
a sitcom theme song playing in the background, and it's
And
like it's almost distracting.
yeah, and the crazy part about that song in particular, and we're kind of like going all over the place, which is fine. Um, I put that song in my favorites because compared to the rest of the album, it's good. Compared to the rest of hip hop, it's still relatively
Yeah,
a mid or bad song, and that's how bad this album is. This is I I hate to say it, like it's like the big day, Chance the Rapper. This is what it is. Except I don't think there was much of a hype for this album the same way there was for the big day. I think the big day had
no,
more hype
certainly
for
not.
it.
Certainly
Um,
not.
that being said, we can get to some of the tracks that we want to highlight for different reasons because they're either so bad or we think that they're like a gem. And we could start with "Welcome to the Carter," which was one of your favorite songs,
Yeah.
Taylor.
I really like Welcome to Carter. And honestly, after the intro, the King Carter intro, and then Welcome to the Carter where Wayne's just spitting and you have like a pretty traditional hip hop beat, I was like, all right, like if we just get like Wayne rapping, whether it's storytelling, whatever, but if we just get like good production and Wayne rapping, like I can live with that 100 times out of 100,
Hmm.
right? Like I'll like that. So that was a high note, and I thought it was like this. It's like a very triumphant like beginning to an album as part of a very like legendary series of albums. And like I think the bars are good. I think he finds a pocket a bunch on that. I love the production on it. Unfortunately, it's a flash in the pan because you go from Welcome to the Carter to Bells, which I think is like actually really bad.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like in the problem is it's not funny like the other low moments. It's like taking itself very seriously, but it's like not good.
Mhm.
And so Welcome to the Carter, my expectations rose so high immediately because I was like, all right, Wayne's here. And then it was like, never mind. So that's one of my like favorite tracks for sure. It's probably my favorite song on the album,
Mhm.
but it's almost like a little set bittersweet because like that doesn't last.
Yeah. I even have critiques with Welcome to the Carter, honestly. Like, there's just so many. This album was not mixed right. That's just the bottom line. It was not mixed right. And Welcome to the Carter is another example of it. I think at times, like the instrumental overpowers like the Wayne's voice. And I that's just completely unacceptable in 2025. Especially from someone who is supposed to know that your vocal should be louder than the instrumental and people want to listen the whole point of this is so people listen to you rap and you decided to allow your rapping, the thing that people are coming here for, to be overpowered by the beat. And that's just a unforced error. That's an unforced turnover. And I agree with you, Taylor, that the raps are good when I like sat down and listened to them and watched the read them off of Genius. I was like, okay, like these are good raps. These are like Lil Wayne raps. But if I don't think I would be able to understand this song and the words that Lil Wayne is rapping if I'm not reading them off of Genius, and that is a problem. Now, as for Bells, song construction throughout the whole album is trash, like just garbage. And this is an example of it. Um, I'm not mad at when Lil Wayne says bells and all the bass and percussions come in. I'm not mad at that. I just wish that there were more points of uniqueness, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like it's just
It's
like
just
bare. It's either like the beat is like bare nothing, and
yeah.
then it's like percussions, and it's like there has to be a middle ground
But
somewhere.
it's
Like
got like
where's
that
the
it's
chord
kind of like a
percussion? Chord
schoolyardy
progression.
like hook
Yeah,
on it where it's like L-I and it's like
yeah,
I'm not I'll go listen to Boldy James if I want to hear someone in their 40s, man. Like you know what I mean? Like I just can't do it.
yeah. Really quickly about hip hop. I've been saying Big X the Plug had a verse on the Max the Cream album from last year, and the song was called Smokey, and I've been like listening to that verse nonstop. So I like Big X the Plug. I don't understand why his hook is the length of a verse and he doesn't have a verse on the song. That makes no sense to me at all. What's going on?
He goes crazy on it though.
He
I do
does, but
like it.
like,
Yeah.
and then also 4 times we have to listen to that 4 times.
I know.
Like,
I
I
know.
think there are songs on this album that we'll get to that sound good, and then all of a sudden, like it's either too long or it's like a completely different genre that's merged into the song. And honestly, that reminds me of Queen by Nicki Minaj when we're thinking about songs like I believe Ganja Burns or Barbie Dreams. Like that song was like a great song. It was like Nicki Minaj had a theme throughout the song, and then all of a sudden the last verse comes, and it's like a completely different instrumental. And the original concept for that song, or the original feel for that song, was like kind of like light, like joking in a way, like kind of like tongue in cheek. And then at the end, it gets super serious, and it's super, and the instrumental gets super dark, and it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And there's quite a few songs here that kind of sound like that. An example of that I would say is banned from NO, banned from New Orleans. If the song is cut off at like 2 minutes and 22 seconds, it's a great song. But then after you have Lil Wayne coming back with a refrain that is not needed, and then to repeat the hook that is also not needed. Like we don't need that in 2025. Um, artists need to pay attention to Pink Panthers and what she's doing because like she will, yes, her songs are short, and that's the thing, like her albums are short, her projects are short or whatever, but at the end of the day it all makes sense and it doesn't overwhelm you and it still leaves you with a feeling of wanting more. Banned from New Orleans, I'm never listening to again because of the fact that it's too long.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any
It's
sense to
it's
me.
like bouncy, it's nice, but then you're right. It's just like, all right, and I'm not a proponent of like, the 2 minute and 20-second song. I'm really not. But sometimes it's like a little bouncy song like that would be like, all right, cool. Wayne got in and out. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But it just doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Days is crazy. I
Yes.
not in a good way. The Days is like
No.
a 2009
I was
like
about to say it depends on what year you're talking about. Because in
dude,
2009, that goes crazy.
that would have
That's
gone.
like that's
Oh my
amazing.
God, that would have been
Yeah.
like a ringtone song. That would have been
Yes.
like a oh my God, that would have been like a YouTube song that would have gone so crazy in 2009. But it's like I
Hmm.
don't Lil Wayne and Bono and Big 2025. It's just
Yeah.
like, and the thing is, this song could have been made then.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part, and that we'll never know.
Yeah. Additionally, again, I'm pointing it out every time. The instrumental is way too loud and it overpowers Bot. What are we doing?
Bono's loud too, man.
Yeah,
Him and the instrumental are
everything
fighting. Yeah,
everything is loud on that song, man. Like, oh my goodness. Moving on, we can talk about Loki's theme. This was a song I was really fully prepared to say that this song would be my favorite. And then it changes genres at the end of the track and completely ruins the song for me. The song was good until it changes genres. And it's like, dude, like what's going on? Like I have it here. Like the song comes together really well. Only critique is the hook is too long. That's what I wrote here initially
yeah,
before I heard the genre change. And now I'm like, okay, this ruins the song. I'm never listening to the song again either. And that's what's gonna happen. I'm never gonna listen to this song again. I'm probably never gonna listen to any of this album again. The only song that seems like I can't be avoided is Peanuts to an Elephant, and it's not because it's a good song, it's because it's already become a TikTok meme. I've seen so many TikToks about it
yeah.
already. And That's within the first 24 hours of this album being released. That being said, before we get to Penis to an Elephant, we have to talk about If I Played Guitar.
Dude. If I play guitar, it's not in my favorite tracks, but it might be the song I come back to the most because you know me, I've known you for a long time at this point, right? Even when stuff is like weird or bad, I can just like put another lens on and be like, no, that's like what we need, right? And I can be like the same thing I do when we're in chat all the time. It's like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's like a little like acoustic, like How to Love type
Yeah.
song, and it's like that's the one. Like, I mean, he sounds like it's like a plain white tease, like you know what I mean. And I like that version of Lil Wayne because it's like when he's experimenting and doing stuff. Like Lil Wayne has always been super emotional in his music, right? So when he
Mhm.
leans fully into that, like, do I want a full album of like acoustic, like crooning Lil Wayne? Maybe.
Mm.
I don't know, but to get a little moment, like especially in the middle of a long album, where like in the hook is so funny, man. Where he's like, if I could play guitar, like when he says, "I'll play you a fucking song," like I thought he was gonna stay like like sensitive, and he goes, "Nah." I'll play. And then on the second chorus, he says, "I'll play you a song that hits like Sylvester Stallone," and
Yeah.
I was like, we are here. This is why I signed up for this. Like it's like a half joking, half not fashion.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
Like
kind of like a better version of Hey There Delilah.
that, yeah, that's plain white tees.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah. That's
but I mean the
exactly.
Drake version.
Oh, Wagwan Delilah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a better version of that, I feel like.
It's just because it's better because he's so serious about it. That's
Yeah.
what you know what I mean? It's not,
Yeah.
there's nothing funny really in there. It's just like, he's just like 45 years old and he's like, you got me on a string and there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm like, yep, talk to him, Lil Wayne. Like, this is like, you know what I mean? Like, I can look at stuff like that and find like the beauty in it. There's few and far between, but that was one of the moments here that I was like, yeah. This is it's not even in my favorite tracks, but that might be the song I listen to the most from this album moving forward.
Unfortunately, moving on to the song that I'm forced to listen to the most, Peanuts to an Elephant. This is the worst beat I ever heard. Genuinely, like the worst beat I like. This is the most trash beat I ever heard. Like I can make a beat better. Anyone, literally anyone can make a beat better than this. It sounds like I don't know if anyone knows about like if anyone ever heard of Miles. But I worked at a summer camp, and one of the students, she loved Miles, and it was like kind of like a meme rap. Like if you ever listen to it, it's like it's hilarious. Like the point of it is to be hilarious, and this sounds like a beat that Miles would rap on. And
Yo, that fucking elephant
yo,
sound to start it is so funny.
yo, Lin-Manuel Miranda should never be near a serious hip hop project again. I do not care who it is. I don't even care if it's Lin-Manuel Miranda's project. I don't care what it is. Stick to musicals, because no, this beat is literally the most garbage beat I've ever heard. On top of that, and this is gonna go a little bit unnoticed because the beat is so trash. There are way too many Donald Trump references on this song. Way too many. There are too many points where Lil Wayne repeats the same thing, where it's like, I'm red like an elephant, Donald Trump. You gotta repeat that over and over, bro. Like you don't got nothing else to rap about. Like you have
He
nothing else to
wants you to
rap
hear
about.
it. He wants you to know. Yo, the way the title stylized is perfect too. Peanuts, two big N elephant.
Like
It's
what?
so
Like
good.
there's no way that like next, man. Oh, speaking of next, now we move on to Maria, where the opera singer overpowers Wyclef Jean and Lil Wayne. I have no clue what they were rapping about because the opera singer is so loud.
Hey, that's Andrea Bocelli though. He is like the greatest of all time.
Is he?
Yeah. No, he's like the one.
You know what? His singing was great, and
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it was
He's
good
like,
singing.
yeah.
But this is not. Last time I checked, this is not an Andrea Bocelli album. This is a Lil Wayne album, and the focus
Wyclef
should
and
be
Lil
Lil
Wayne go
Wayne.
crazy too.
Yeah.
They really do. Like they're both like skating all over him, singing like Ave Maria in the background, and it's crazy. Like that was another song where I had to put on my goggles and just be like, "Yep, I am not looking at this in context anymore. I am just in this universe."
Yeah. Random thought that just came to mind. Is it possible that this song was inspired by GNX by Kendrick, where GNX has the actual vocalist singing on a bunch of the tracks.
If I had to guess, this was made not recent. I'd have to go listen to the lyrics again to see if that, but I don't know if this is made
Yeah,
post GNX.
I, I'm just throwing it out there. That's the only.
He said he wanted to be with Andrea Bocelli in Sicily.
Y'all about to be on the couch, man.
She fell into the underworld in the city of angels, Nate.
Moving on to the last song. And this song is actually a good song. Written History is
It is
probably
really
the
good.
best song on the album. The song construction actually makes sense. It's a good outro. Moving on to playback value, I'll go first. Subjectively, there's no playback value here at all, besides what TikTok determines. Objectively, um, I'm going to give it a week. Just because I believe that if they are still diehard Lil Wayne fans in 2025 out there, they will find a way to make this album sound good to them. The same way that one of my former friends, when Playboy Cardi's Whole Lotta Red came out, which was also garbage, said, I'm going to listen to it as much as I have to before it sounds good. So that being said, I think that there are people out there for Lil Wayne, and I think because of that, this playback value is a weak, objectively.
I got the same. I'm probably not coming back to this except for if I play guitar because I feel you, Lil Wayne. I feel you. And
Final
then
thoughts. Oh, wait, go ahead.
hang on. Objectively, there's so many diehard Lil Wayne's fans that this is gonna get played. And I also think it's sneaky, but people love Jelly Roll. So that Shark song is gonna end
Yeah.
up in a circle that people don't, well, they might expect it to. It's gonna end up in the like, I got like a tap out MMA shirt and I drink like Mountain Dew Volt still in 2025. Like that's
And
where
they
that
and
will
they
end
drink
up.
IPAs.
No, they don't drink IPAs. No. They drink energy
They
drinks.
drink energy drinks, Monster Energy.
Yeah,
Mountain Dew is
exactly.
water.
Yes, Monster
Gotcha.
Energy hat, like that crew
Okay.
will love that song Sharks.
All right.
So I'll give them a week.
Final thoughts, bro.
Final thoughts. Again, I mentioned this earlier. I think my final thought is it's a shame that the Carter series has become what it was because the Carter 5 was long awaited, and then you had all the hangups with Birdman and Cash Money, and it came out much later than it should have, which in turn makes the Carter 6 come out much later than it ever should have, and then we get the product like this. And so I think it's a long awaited installation to a very legendary album series that falls very flat, and it's just like it's like a legend who just doesn't have the fastball anymore. Like every now and then, like it'll show up and you're like, all right, he rapped really well on that song, like on Written History. But besides that, it's like it just falls flat.
Top three tracks.
Yeah, here I gotta hang on a second. I texted him to you.
Yes, you did. As you were doing
I
them
did.
last minute.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really know what was going
You
on.
had
I had to go back through a couple times to figure things out. So I got one is Welcome to the Carter, two two is Flex Up, and then three is Rari.
a little track. Okay. The Carter Six is lacking cohesion and quality, and the hit attempts are very obvious and they're dated.
It's lacking quality.
Although Lil Wayne's rapping ability is still relatively strong, that does not make up for the bad track listing, beat selection, and song construction present throughout the album. The number three song on my favorite is Cotton Candy. Number two is Banned from New Orleans, and number one is Written History. Thank you
Nate,
for
he said he was all red like spaghetti and meatballs.
thank you for listening to this episode 609 of the Cat Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Check out our previous episodes on Playboy Cardi's music and Pink Panthers' Fancy That and other albums that we talked about so far this year. Make your voice heard by telling us your favorite song, if it exists, from the Carter 6 by Lil Wayne in the comments below and voting in our poll. I mean, we already did, but you get to decide if the Carter 6 is album of the year, fire, mid, or trash. Follow Old Milk on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Old Milk Media. Check out oldmilk.co for more information. I'm Nate Sperlin. That's Taylor McLeod, and we'll be back when hip hop tells us to be. We are out. Thank you for watching.